Welcome back to the wedding frame. I'm excited to be doing another episode, and this one is gonna be juicy. It is about hot takes in the wedding industry, and I've kind of compiled a list from just talking to people, reading threads on social media, and just kind of taking some mental notes of things that I've heard. And let's go through the list and I'll give you my opinions on each of these hot takes. All right, number one, the Pinterest shot list is killing creativity. I definitely agree with that one. I actually prefer not to have a shot list because on the day of the wedding, I am not wanting to take time out of a tight schedule to look down at a list of specific shots that the couple want. And I'm not talking about family portraits. I'm talking about they want a specific pose in a specific location. If it's not too much, if it's not too many requests, fine. But if the whole day is planned out with a shot list, it just kind of kills a photographer's creativity. I do ask if they have photos they would like to send me, a Pinterest board of their wedding inspo, so I know kind of what they like, if they like a more editorial look or they are leaning more towards candids. I tend to do both anyway, but it's good to have an idea of what the couple prefers and what speaks to them. All right, number two, more gear does not equal better photography. Well, I definitely think that having the latest and the most gear isn't necessary to be an amazing wedding photographer. Knowing your equipment inside and out and how it works for you is the most important thing. Great images come from intuition, timing, and understanding light. So some of the best wedding photography is created with just the simple, reliable tools, not with every new gadget on the market. Number three, overshooting is not a badge of honor. Ooh, this one speaks to me. I I think we all were overshooters when we first started, and those of you who are new in wedding photography, it's okay. You're gonna do a little bit of shooting and praying, or what is it? Oh, spraying and praying. I understand. You want to make sure you got the shot. I've had the experience of some second shooters that have worked for me who have done some overshooting, and it's definitely made my job a little harder with culling and editing. It's not necessary to get 10 shots of the same pose. I actually just do like 3 to 4, maybe not even that many for if it's just the couple, but I'll do like, let's just say 2 to 3 shots of one pose, like where they're looking at me. And then I'll tell them, okay, now look at each other. I'll take 2 or 3 more of that. Now, when it comes to group photos, I definitely take mm, like 3 to 5 of each pose because sometimes people are, not everyone's looking at the camera or some people blink. So in that case, group shots, yes, you can do a little bit of overshooting. Number four, trendy edits age faster than people think. I think that trends are going to come and go, and you want to make sure that your couple's photos don't look outdated in 10 years. And I think they have been aging faster than before because I feel like new trends are just coming on rapid fire. Your safest bet is to edit in a true to life style, and the pictures might still look outdated because of the decor they chose or the fashion at the time. So actually for this hot take, I'm kind of half and half about it because so it says trendy edits age faster than people think. Okay, but do you really mind having trendy wedding photos? I was thinking about that for my wedding. I was like, some of the colors I'm choosing, like I chose like an avocado green for my tablecloth. I had originally had like a sage green, but I'm like, oh, sage green's not really in right now. I think this avocado green is gonna look better. And then I was like, oh, am I being too trendy? Am I in 10 years gonna know that I got married in 2025? And then I thought, it's okay. It's totally okay. It's kind of fun to look back at like your parents' photos, and know, oh, they got married in the 80s because of the big puffy sleeves. It's just kind of fun. So, number 5, AI culling isn't cheating, it's efficient. Well, you all know how I feel about this if you've been listening to the podcast. And I could talk about AI culling and editing for another whole episode because I am just so happy with the advent of this. It has saved me so much time, and I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I want to have a life outside of shooting weddings, and this is really giving me my time back. And I know it sounds cliche because I hear and read this all over the place, but it really is true. So AI culling definitely is not cheating. You're up to date with technology, basically. Number 6, sneak peeks matter a lot. I do believe that this is true. In this day and age, people want everything instantly. And we already know that content creators are giving lots of footage by the next day. So we as photographers need to be giving sneak peeks as soon as possible. And they do matter so much. It keeps the couple excited for what's to come when you deliver the final gallery. And it's also a great way to keep the excitement of the wedding in general going like on social media, because then you can have the vendors sharing the sneak peeks. It gives more impact and exposure. Number 7, florals dramatically impact the overall aesthetic. Yes, yes, and yes. To me, florals make or break a wedding. This is why I was happy to spend more money on florals than I was anticipating, but it really does so much to the aesthetic of a wedding. And when I'm taking pictures and the florals they don't have to be over the top, but there's a good amount and they incorporate the colors of the wedding, it just really elevates a wedding, in my opinion. I think that you can skip on some things such as favors instead of skimping on the florals. And maybe that's just me because I love flowers, but they really are so beautiful and they just give that oomph to a wedding. Number 8, ceremony lighting affects the gallery more than the decor. I guess I see what people mean by this. Lighting really is everything to us photographers, but the decor really says a lot too. And when I say decor, I'm including the florals. So I think the lighting and the decor is equally as important. Hot take number 9, timelines should be built with photography in mind. So I added a little more to this when I was jotting down these hot takes. So let me read this. It doesn't mean photography runs a day, but a poorly structured timeline leads to rushed portraits, missed moments, and unnecessary stress. Yes. Okay. Yes. So I work with planners only now. I'm not in charge of the timeline anymore, but I do appreciate when planners reach out to me and ask me to look over the timeline and make sure it works for photography. I think nowadays most planners have gotten the hang of how much time is needed for getting ready, how much time to buffer for travel in between locations. So yes, for sure. Timelines should be built with photography in mind. And there have been times where I see that a planner allocated like 15 minutes for family photos and I have like 10 groupings. So I immediately contact them and say, hey, this is not going to be enough. This actually happened at my last wedding. Yeah. So I reached out to the planner and told her I can get as many groupings done, but I understand the couple wants to join cocktail hour, but we won't be able to finish all of the family groupings. And so she talked to the couple and they had to decide whether they wanted to miss cocktail hour, which is pretty common over here. Like the couple is usually missing their entire cocktail hour in order to take pictures. And this couple didn't have a first look, so it was a little bit more challenging. So they quickly responded and said that they didn't mind missing cocktail hour, but they wanted to get the family portraits done in that time. But I also offered them that, we can do some during the reception. There's always time to do things at the reception if you've missed any of it because, something was running late or whatever. All right, let's go to the next hot take. Number 10. iPhones aren't the problem. Aisle blocking is. Okay, so it says guests will always take photos. The issue is when they lean into aisles, block entrances, or interfere with critical moments. A simple announcement about staying seated and present solves most issues. Ooh, no, no, no. This is a hot take that I don't agree with. I think iPhones are definitely a problem. And the reason why guests are blocking the aisle is usually because they're trying to take pictures. They're not blocking the aisle just because they want a better look. So I think that inefficient announcing that it's an unplugged wedding is the best. Okay, I'm going to shout out my officiant, Chris Dickens, with Your Custom Ceremony. I loved him and I knew I would. We actually went to high school together. So that's kind of a fun little tidbit. But what he did, and I haven't seen other officiants do this, not only did he say it was an unplugged wedding, but he had everyone have a chance to take pictures of Alvaro and I, of my husband and I. We were just standing there facing everyone and they were able to take pictures. So I thought that was genius. And I think every officiant should do this. Having those cell phones in your ceremony pictures, I think it just kind of ruins it. You want people to be in the moment anyway, right? So giving everyone a chance to do that satisfies their need. Yeah, no one took their phones out again during my ceremony. Thanks, Chris. All right, getting through these. Let's see, how many are there? How many hot takes did I collect? Okay, I have 25. Let's see if we get through all of them. I might skip some. Okay. 11. Instagram popularity isn't a measure of professionalism. Well, I have definitely spent, I don't want to know how much time building up my Instagram following. To me, it has been a great marketing tool. And I think so. It says Instagram popularity isn't a measure of professionalism. Okay, fine. I guess that's true. There are very professional and very successful wedding photographers who probably don't use Instagram, but they rely more on word of mouth. And that's a testament to them for sure. So potential clients are looking at Instagram. They are looking at your follower count, at your like count, all of that. Sadly, it's a thing. They do care about that. So I do believe in working on your social media, on your Instagram. And you get a bigger following by actually doing what the app was designed for, which is engaging. It actually rewards you when you engage. And I can do a whole episode on Instagram because I feel like I've concentrated so much on it over the last 9 years that I've been shooting weddings. So yeah, we'll talk about all about Instagram at a future date. But yeah, you do have to be careful if, let's say you're a wedding planner looking for a photographer for your couple, or a couple looking directly for a photographer on Instagram, and everything looks amazing. It looks like they have a huge following. Their pictures are just so gorgeous. You do have to be careful because things can be faked. You can buy followers. I know that Instagram will penalize you if you all of a sudden have a bunch of followers. They know what's going on. So you have to be careful. Also, a lot of photographers, when they're starting out, they'll put styled shoot photos on their feed. That's totally fine, but just make sure that not every post is a styled shoot, because you also need to be authentic. And especially Gen Z, they really, really value authenticity. So that's my take on the hot take. Okay, moving on. The next one is most weddings don't need 12 hours of coverage. I think 12 hours is probably at the top, at the high end of the amount of hours that are needed. It's For me, it's more like 10 hours, but when I was starting out, 6 hours was fine because the budgets were lower. And obviously, you're going to charge more if you're there more hours. You're also paying for a second shooter. So I feel like the sweet spot is 10 hours. Sometimes 8 is fine if it's all in the same venue. Some couples don't need much time for getting ready. I prefer 2 hours, but I can get it done in an hour. But yeah, I think this hot take that you don't need 12 hours of coverage is true. There are weddings that are a lot more involved, like cultural weddings, especially South Asian weddings, where my last one, I did 5 hours the day before, and I think it was 13 hours the day after. I was definitely about to collapse at the end of the wedding, at the end of the reception. A lot of the higher end weddings, I can see the 12 hours of coverage needed. We're not only getting a good amount of the getting ready, but there's sometimes even an after party that they want captured. And then obviously there's the whole multi-date weddings. Okay, receptions don't require nonstop coverage. Ugh, I don't know what to say about this one. For me, it's really hard for me to not be constantly shooting. And when I say constantly shooting, like I mentioned earlier, I don't mean overshooting, but I mean looking for moments that I can photograph that aren't repetitive, because since this is talking about receptions, a big part of the reception is the dancing. And sometimes they have you there for 2 hours of dancing and you've gotten everything you need in like that first half an hour. But I will walk around and I'll take pictures of the guests who are seated, the guests who are at the photo booth. So I think receptions do require nonstop coverage. I think the only time that it's not necessary is when people are eating dinner. But many times the speeches will be during the time that people are eating. So it's almost nonstop coverage, but my second shooter and I, we will sit down and have dinner together. I know some photographers who require that there is a photographer on the floor at all times, even during dinner. I guess you never know what can happen. So yeah, I understand that. All right, I think I'm going to end it with this hot take. And I think I'm really enjoying this. So I'm going to do another episode in the future of a whole new set of hot takes. So the last one is styled shoots have influenced couples' expectations unrealistically. Oh man, there are so many editorials and styled shoots out there in the Instagram world. And I think that while I love them, because they show the latest trends, they show what can be done, how you can dress up a certain venue, I think they definitely are setting an unrealistic expectation because, again, engaged couples have usually not been married before and they have no idea what anything costs. They might have some idea because they talked to a friend who got married or their siblings got married, but in general, they really don't know. And like they're seeing these styled shoots where the vendors come together and either contribute their products or time to produce this beautiful wedding shoot that many times gets published. Styled shoots are also carefully controlled environments with perfect lighting. The photographers and videographers can move at a slow pace and just get what they need without being rushed or stressed about running late on a wedding day. So, yeah, the expectations are definitely not realistic when it comes to styled shoots. And I think some couples may need to be educated a little bit about that when you talk to them, and make sure that you let them know what to expect. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I think this is really fun. I want to definitely do it again. But for now, I would love to have you follow me on Instagram at The Wedding Frame Lisette, and I'll see you next time.